as the 48-22-6 Tampa Bay Lightning head into Buffalo against the 46-23-8 Sabres. The last time these two met was a wild one, and I am very much expecting the same. Last time, Buffalo won it 8-7 in regulation. Shots were 42-28 Buffalo. 64 face-offs in the game. 102 total penalty minutes. 5 fights and 2 misconducts. If you want to know how aggressive was each side, well, Tampa went 1 for 2 on their power plays. Buffalo went 4 for 7 on theirs. So a little lopsided. Tampa ended up with 57 minutes and Buffalo with 45. Earlier in the year, first meeting, Tampa wins 4-3 in Tampa in overtime. And game 2 and 3 won by the Sabres. The first one 6-2, or game 2 6-2 in Tampa. And game 3 is the one we were just talking about, 8-7 in regulation in favor of the Sabres. Over the last few games, Tampa beating Boston 3-1 at home, beating the Pens 6-3 at home, losing to the Canadiens 4-1 at home. There's a long home stretch, and I believe now this is their first game on the road. They beat the Pens, beat the Sens, and lost to the Kraken. Meanwhile, Buffalo lost in Washington 6-2 to the Caps, lost to Ottawa 4-1, beat the Islanders 4-3, won in a shootout against the Kraken, lost to the Red Wings 5-2, lost to the Bruins in overtime, and lost to the Ducks in overtime. So judging by previous games, I would probably have to put my money on Tampa. And that's just from the last 5 or 6 games that each team has played. However, looking at the season so far, my money's on Buffalo. More consistent scoring coming from the Sabres. So we shall see. Tampa is sitting at 102 points. They're on top of the Atlantic Division, hence the poll. So you've got Tampa on top of the Atlantic. Buffalo right behind them at 100 points. Canadiens tied with Buffalo at 100 points. And I want to say Boston is next in line on that, would be number 4, but they're sitting at 95 points. So have to be a lot of losing and a lot of Boston winning in order for them to move up. Yeah, first wild card sitting at 95, and again, Tampa at 102, and Buffalo, Montreal at 100. So this game is very much I feel like I'm waiting for the game to start, but maybe I'm okay. There we go. So this game can very much be for first place. If Buffalo can beat Tampa in regulation, let's see, Vasilevsky versus Luukkonen. But if they can win in regulation, tie it up at 102, have Tampa start, Tampa ends up losing a couple of games and Buffalo can keep winning. So just get a little momentum shift as the season's rounding out. See who ends up taking it. Other games starting at, let's see, we got 4:30, the Kraken in Winnipeg against the Jets. At 7 p.m., Chicago in San Jose, Blackhawks and the Sharks. And at 7:30, Nashville Predators head into LA against the Kings. As of right now, we are still waiting for puck drop. Any minute now. Okay, apparently they have dropped the pucks, so these feeds are just shit again. We're really doing this again. Okay, apparently the feeds are shit. So, man, this is making it really fucking hard. This one's over a minute behind. Can I fast forward it at all? No, I cannot. Sorry, guys. This is a problem we seem to be running into a lot more consistently now, and I have no idea why. All right, here we go. Finally. Buffalo out of their own zone, trying to work it up. It's kept in at the low point by Mosier. Kucherov down low, trying to play it, but it gets past Goncalves, and Buffalo goes the other way, but just out of the, let's see, who is that? It's just out of the reach of Benson as he kind of dove across the red line. Puck coming back on a Buffalo icing. Good opportunity to learn Buffalo. I was trying like hell earlier, just wasn't sticking. All right, so face off to the right of Luukkonen. The Paul versus Norris puck won by Tampa. A little whiff trying to backhand it to the corner. Finally, it's knocked down there. All the way around to the high point. Lilleberg dumps it in. Gensel feeds it to the high. Dot shot fought off by Luukkonen. Up and out of play. Bjorkstrand coming in from the top of the circle down to the dot. Fires one off the Buffalo goalkeeper. So I keep saying goalkeeper, goaltender. Goalkeeper's a little too soccer. Why does the I'm already frozen. Starting to get really fucking difficult to deal with this, man. Trying, guys. It just apparently nothing wants to work anymore. Use this all season and or these different sites all season, and as we get right down to it, it just all collapses. I wish I had a fucking explanation, man. Guess we're gonna have to just deal with being fucking an hour behind at this point because I don't know what else to do, guys. Stop streaming it? No. How do I? So okay, so do a watch. Are you saying just stop streaming or just stop doing a watch party, which is the whole point of this? I'm actually curious. Got a penalty. Let's see, it's to the Lightning. Let me see what happened. Trying to get caught up now. Holmberg 2-minute minor for holding Tage Thompson's stick. Trying to get caught up. Oh, I'm on the wrong fucking feed, dude. I'm having a great time right now. This is perfect. See if we can get going with this. Okay, here comes the get together that we were already expecting. We're a little bit more caught up now, though. There will be the typical delay. See, Tage Thompson doesn't have a helmet. Everybody's in the high corner of the Tampa zone. Let's see what happened. Shot goes on Vasilevsky. Oh, it carried into the high corner. Dahlin takes the shot, and Lilleberg just takes him right into the ports anyway. That was a bullshit shove. Whoa, so what's up, buddy? What's up, Morgan? Happy Monday, buddy. All right, we'll see just how far back. Unfortunately, we are well behind, but it is what it is. It's probably about 37. What we got? About 30 seconds behind. Work side earlier than expected. I drop by right on. I appreciate you stopping in, man. Hope it was it's got to be a good Monday if you're getting off the side early. So, fuck yeah, buddy. Buffalo into the Tampa zone and sent right back down to Luukkonen. Gonna see if I can find something that's gonna be closer than like 30 or 40 seconds behind, but found one. It immediately froze up on me, so just want to put an asterisk on that. Buffalo with speed to Tuck on the low boards, trying to feed it down the wall. Comes back to the low point. High dot. Shot. Vasilevsky knocks it away with the stick. But we're going to get a hold. Think we're getting a hold of same penalty that Tampa just got, holding the stick. 23 seconds left on the power play. That is something to call, I guess, bro. So, couple seconds left on the man advantage for Buffalo as Tuck goes to the box. Will take us 4-on-4 with. Sorry, said that totally wrong. Take us to 4-on-4 with that 23 seconds. Let me see if we can get back over here. 4 minutes gone in the first. We're going to skip ahead because we temporarily have this one working. Point enters high. Feeding it all the way back to the high point. Radish feeds it into the corner. Cycling on the dot. Back to Radish up high. Baseline. Pass shot from up close. Goes right into the crest of Luukkonen. And the puck ends up back at Vasilevsky. Radish taking his time leaving. Pass across the ice. Kucherov with speed on the low side. Feeding it to the middle. Nobody there. Just a bouncing puck. Who was that? Goes off a Samuelson skate. Sorry. I was working on Buffalo's names today, but my brain is so fried from trying to remember everybody. Gensel had a wide open opportunity. I mean, they let him walk from the baseline right to the top of the crease. It's a good job shutting him down by Luukkonen. McLeod on the dot for Buffalo as Tampa has to swap out. Face off won by the Lightning. Radish at the low point across the blue line to Kucherov. Up ahead to point, back to Kucherov across the ice down low. But Perry can't go anywhere with it. Puck comes back to the blue line. Big shot goes wide. Tampa keeping it into the high corner. Gensel up the boards. Kucherov back to Gensel, back to Kucherov, to Radish, top of the low circle, back to Kucherov. His shot hits a body in between the circles. Radish now at the blue line, back to Kucherov at the high point, top of the high circle. Baseline, right up front, and Perry gets shut down. Great defensive play. It's like for Benson all the way back down, McLeod with a backdoor chance to Benson that doesn't connect. Tuck comes out of the box, and we are back to full strength hockey. Tuck shoots, and he scores. Good grief. Just too much going on at once for me to be able to keep up. Luukkonen ends up tripping Benson. But here, Tuck just comes right up the center of the ice. He's challenged right in the middle of the circles by Radish. Vasilevsky, it's not a good screen. Vasilevsky sees it. He has eyes the whole way, and he just misses. As Tuck buries the block just inside the blocker side post. Alex Tuck out of the box and onto the board. Puck back in the other way. Everybody fighting on that low wall in the Buffalo zone. Puck goes highway out. It's a foot race. Krebs wins to Tuck. His shot's high off the back glass. And back up the ooh, that looked a little interference-y. But no call as Buffalo gets the puck back in their territory. 6:30 to go in the period. Shots are 3 apiece. Buffalo with the lone goal. Dahlin looking for the pass. He can't find it. Finally makes it to the red line and dumps it in as he's taken hard into the boards. And now Perry will come back the other way, just avoiding a hip check. And Lilleberg takes a shove, getting the puck up the wall. All the way to the high side of the ice. Paul sends it around. I may have Perry and Paul. Oh, big hit. That has to be a penalty down low. No call there. That puck was nowhere near anybody, and he just flattened old boy. It was a blast of a hit. There we go. Are they going to call it? Nope. We get a tripping call back on the other side of the ice. Let's see that hit again, because it was a great hit. But if that puck was nowhere near anybody, that should have been a penalty. I guess we're going to have to wait to come back from commercial break in order to see it. Let's see what the summary's calling. Alex Tuck, 2-minute mind. Okay, so Holmberg went to the box for holding the stick. Tuck went to the box for holding the stick. And now I've thought, yeah, we're getting a tripping penalty. There it is. Daustas going to the box for tripping. So that'll put Buffalo on the power play. All right, so far it's actually been a lot more civil than I expected, but that big-ass hit below the goal line might change that. Like I said, it's from what I saw, the hit in itself, if you isolate just the hit, it looked like a good hit. It was high, but it looked shoulder to shoulder, shoulder to chest, took him out. However, I believe the puck was halfway to the blue line, like well gone. And dude they might have both just had their heads down and Buffalo Cat got the worst of it, but that was a shot. I want to say it was 25, right? Yeah, power for Buffalo got blasted. So be very interested to see. Was going to check in on another game, but we don't have another game till 4:30, so we'll just hang out during intermission watching Seattle, and I can't remember who it is. Douse 2. Okay. It is a tripping, so good call. Let's see. I'd like to see the hit. See if they do it.
Shame. Shame. Shame.
All right, we don't get to see the explosion that happened behind the net. I'm bummed. Puck to the high point, skated in top of the high circle. Tage Thompson down low, trying to swat it back to the blue line. It eventually gets there. Fed back to Thompson at the high baseline. Across the ice, looking for Norris on the backdoor opportunity. They don't connect. Quinn getting behind the net, backhand out front. Everybody misses. Back to the high point. Power down the wall. Quinn feeds it to the side of the net. Thompson loses it into the corner. Good job keeping it in by Power up high. However, it's lost in the center of the ice. Tampa will throw it all the way down. 50 seconds gone on the man advantage. 11:42 to go in the first. Fed down the boards into the corner and tossed right on back down the ice. Luukkonen gives it to Tuck, and he'll gain some speed. Up ahead, looking for the give and go. They stay on side. It gets to him. The tip fought off by Vasilevsky. Back up the high boards. Goncalves is late getting there, so Buffalo keeps it in. Tuck all the way across the ice. Everybody playing catch, back to Tuck, trying to go back to the low point, but nobody home. McLeod started sneaking in, and Byram was too far away. Buffalo has to reset. 10 seconds left on the man advantage. Around the net and up the low boards. Tuck's down in front, but an easy pick off for Tampa, and they kill off the Buffalo power play. 10.5 to go in the first. Buffalo gets in behind Vasilevsky. He'll backhand it up the high boards, but kept in by the Sabres. A little whiff from the trapezoid, but a good pinch down. That by Mallenstein. I think it's Steen. I don't think it's Stein. Anyway, Buffalo back out into neutral, and they're on the attack. Shot from the low point gets knocked away. Greenway couldn't get the puck through to Vasilevsky. Another shot from the high point does get through, and Vasilevsky gloves it to freeze it. Shots are 6-3 Buffalo. And now Mallenstein and Greenway are getting tied up. And now there goes everybody. And Mallenstein is fighting through the ref. He's got Chaffee all over his ass. The line just abandoned his fight to go to deal with another scrap. And nobody's really fighting. I mean, some gloves are dropped, but there's no punches that I've seen thrown yet. Black and whites are blowing their whistle. So, that matters. Cold water, man. Holy shit. All right. We're going to get at least a couple penalties. Greenway is in the box. They're still separating people. Looks like Stanley and is that Perry? Hang on a second. Is 20 Perry and 20 and 10? No, 10 Perry and 20 Paul. Okay, so it's Paul. Dude, that line has already gotten into trouble, and they just keep getting into trouble. This is actually going exactly as I expected. Like I said, I think last commercial break I said I was surprised by how civil the game's been. Yep. Well, can't really say that one anymore, unfortunately. All right, what we got? 4 votes, evenly tied between the Sabres and the Lightning. Okay, I can dig it. No, I think I got to look at the schedule. Actually, I probably should have done that earlier. But I could see Tampa hanging on. However, if Buffalo wins this game, I'll put my support my opinion behind Buffalo winning. I really do think this is that big of a game. Winnipeg. Okay, it's Seattle and Winnipeg. That's right. Won 5 of the last 7. All right, we're finally coming back from commercial break. Oh yeah, let's see what the penalties were. You got Greenway 2-minute minor for a cross check and Radish. Dunn 2-minute minor for roughing against Corey Perry, and Corey Perry 2 minutes in return. So I believe it is a Tampa Bay power play. We should get the start of this any minute now. They're taking their time with this one. Any minute. All right. Tampa Bay power play face off to the right of Luukkonen. Won by Tampa. Kucherov one-handed, able to get it to the point. Fed across the blue line. Kucherov gets there, but his pass cut off by Tuck. Tuck gets in a quick foot race with Point before he backhands it all the way down to Vasilevsky. And out come the Lightning. With speed, Kucherov on the high side leaves it at the point. Gensel goes all the way down and back to the mid blue line. Radish feeds Kucherov on the high wall. Kucherov's pass again gets cut off by Buffalo, and they clear to neutral. 1:15 to go. On the man advantage, a cool opportunity for a clean break, but Radish loses it crossing the blue line. Again from neutral. This time Kucherov fires it around, and it ends up and out of play. Expected to come back to the high dot just outside the Buffalo zone. 61 seconds on the man advantage. Shots are 5-3 Buffalo. Face off won by the Sabres, sent the length of the ice for Vasilevsky to play behind his own net. Radish collects the puck with McLeod up his ass. He'll leave it back, and Point comes steaming through. Leaves it to be shot forward for Bjorkstrand to take down into the low corner under heavy pressure. That goes up out of play. We'll see if they call. Does not appear that they are going to call a delay game on that. Showing some Kucherov highlights. Yeah, that makes sense. Hard into the low corner off of that face off. Tampa's able to keep the puck in. Kucherov sets it for Point in the high corner. Back to Kucherov on the high dot. Radish in the middle. Low dot Gensel. He goes for the pass to Kucherov. Shot and score. Puck gets fed down low. And Paul's able to play it out of the corner. And I mean, I had to believe everybody thought Gensel was going to shoot the puck. I had no thought. I mean, he had a great opportunity, it looked like, and he went straight across the ice to the high dot, and Kucherov buries it home. How is that not a penalty happen up on the board side of the wall? There you go. Benson comes in and I want to say that's Sorelli, but I can't see the number. Just, I feel like that wouldn't make sense. But, dude, these guys, it's going to get real chippy come the second period. That's going to be fun to watch. Into the high corner to the high point across the blue line and back out to neutral. McDonough feeds it up ahead, and Gergensen will jump it in. I don't even know what word I was going for there. Sorry. Battle down low. Buffalo's able to get it up out of their zone. Tuck up ahead, but it was not tipped. Nope, they're going to say it was tipped. Tampa recovers, but cannot clear. Tuck on all the way across the ice, brought back to the high point. Shot. Stopped by Vasilevsky. Follow up from a hard angle in the high corner. Again, stopped by Vasilevsky, and the Lightning send it all the way down to Luukkonen. That will be an icing face-off coming back in front of us. Apparently, dude, I thought I was ready for this game. I'm not going to lie. Apparently, my brain's like, yeah, no. Not really, dude. Oh, sorry. Let me get that. 7 minutes to go in the first. Shots are 6-4 Buffalo. Face off to the right. Vasilevsky, Gergensens, and McLeod on the dot. Face off won by the Lightning, carried out by Goncalves and dumped in from just across the red line. In the high corner, fed to Powers in the low corner. Makes the pass up ahead, and McLeod is set back at the blue line. He's getting jumped by Goncalves. There were two cross checks that we'll just go ahead and not worry about. And Mosher makes the pass across the ice to help get it all the way down into Buffalo territory. Good stick lift by Point, but not good enough. As the Sabres will send it all the way down, and that is an icing. 6:20 to go in the first. All right, face off to the left of Luukkonen. Norris on the dot. I can't see from this angle. I think it was against Point, but Tampa wins it. Back to neutral. Tip the other way, but Norris has it heading into Lightning territory. Battle for it happening on the low boards, and puck comes out to the red line. Back the other way. There's a little bit of space. Looking for the feed. Back to the low dot. Shot and scored. Norris. So just a good play at the red line. Sends Doan in on the low side, and he just has room to walk. Meanwhile, Norris is streaking it. You got Benson up ahead, drawing the defense towards the net. Norris just sneaks in behind catches it on the low dot and buries it past Vasilevsky. That was a beautiful goal starting from a simple, just nothing spectacular, just good defensive play on the right side of the neutral line. And now Buffalo is fired up. Paul going through neutral, tosses it in. Oh, Buffalo not able to clear. Puck at the middle of the blue line, down to the low wall, back all the way across the ice, and Borkstrand takes it to the low dot, into the low corner. Fed out front, but Chafee couldn't find it. Through neutral, Buffalo will toss it out of play. Face-off should come to the center dot. Sabres mascot is stoked. Dig it. All right, so commercial break with 5:22 to go in the first. Sabres coming ahead so far 2-1. Said this I'm expecting a lot as this gets in. Second period starts up. I'm expecting a lot more, and then the third period should be real fun to watch. This is the game that very well may be a huge determining factor in who takes first. Because I said, I was saying it earlier. If Buffalo wins it and can tie Tampa and rock Tampa's boat just a little bit to maybe force them out on another loss. Meanwhile, Buffalo's feeling excited, feeling good and confident heading in, and they're able to win out. Like, it could be, won't be as big of a thing for home ice advantage as Montreal coming in from third and taking either the second or the first spot, because Montreal is tied with Buffalo at 100. And Tampa's only at 100 too. So, I mean, this could be a big game, and then you got to watch Montreal to see what happens there. Swear to God. Every now and then, it's not always, I get it when people say they don't like drinking cold water. I get that. However, every now and then, a little hot, you're a little extra thirsty. Ice cold water hits like heroin. All right, face off on the center dot. Y'all gonna have to tell me if it's done or done, because I'm probably gonna say done. Actually, No shit. All four of Tampa's shots. Shots are 7-4 Buffalo. All four of Tampa's shots have come on power plays. They do not have a 5-on-5 shot on net as of yet. Power pass across to the high side, and Byron will send it in and around. Battle for it in the low corner. Buffalo takes it, trying to stuff Vasilevsky. He does a good job holding on to the low post. Pass comes out, and Tampa are able to get it clear. Another dangerous opportunity for the Sabres. McLeod loses it at neutral, so he has to work it back. And now with speed, Buffalo actually gets held up at the blue line. Shot comes in from the low point. Vasilevsky fights it off, and Kucherov will skate it back the other way. Pass down to the low boards, misses Goncalves. But point circles back. Pass to the high point, shot, miss. Well wide. the two or whatever his name is, clears it out to neutral. Now McLeod passes it across. Vasilevsky makes the save. It was an awkward handle, a good diving play by Tampa. Ooh, point goes hard into the goalie. They're going to call it a push. No penalty either way. There goes Goncalves for the confrontation. Samuel, like going at Samuelson. Point. They're going to say Samuelson pushed point into the goalie, but they're not giving a penalty or anything. It was just a little push. Point is up and skating up the ice, but let's see exactly what happened. Because, I mean, he went hard into Luukkonen's leg. What up, Jesus? Welcome in, buddy. Yeah, so 2-on-1 opportunity. Perfect laydown. McLeod should have shot, but he tried to make the pass across to Krebs. Or no, to Zucker, sorry. And Zucker got stuffed. There was this weird in-air pass and then point. I mean, yeah, he definitely went in because of the push by Samuelson, but it was not much of a push. So I can see why both sides are, you know, I can see why Tampa's pissed, and I can see why Buffalo's like, what are you mad about? Here's deep on Monday? Nice. I like it. Off. Been drinking. Let's go, buddy. Hey, cheers. Have one for me, dude. Mosier sends the puck around Luukkonen, but Buffalo will come away with it. Pass across to Byram. Back across for Shen. His shot goes straight up into the air after it hits Vasilevsky. That was not Shen. Dude, I can't see numbers for shit right now. Norris's shot hits Vasilevsky and launches into the sky. Okay, I could dig the swords being the freebies. I don't know if you're seeing that in the crowd, anybody, but that's nice. Oh, okay, you got Mosier and Benson going at it. Couple of cross checks, couple of slashes. I gotta update Streamlabs. What happened? Okay. Shit. Huh. All right, I'll have to figure something. I'll have to figure out a way to do that. I don't have anything. If it's not working, I don't have an option of anything to update it to. That's the problem. So I would love, trust me, man, I'm never trying to turn down green. But I don't even have something that I know of that I can update it to. And of course, this one's dead. Tell you what, buddy, keep me in mind and we'll try and, I'll try and figure it out, brother. Just woke up, I'm here. Hey, welcome in, Wing. So far, Buffalo's doing good, up 2-1. A lot of aggression coming from both sides. So second and third period should be rather exciting. Yeah, hey, I'm not surprised. It's saying, like, when I go and check it, it says they got rid of something. Now's not the time, unfortunately, for me to dive into it. So if it's not working, I'll deal with it after stream. But I definitely appreciate it, man. I'll have to figure out what I can do to make it work. Tuck skates in, quick shot, misses the net. I think he beat Vasilevsky. You know, hey, dude, I got you, buddy. I'll try and get it figured out, buddy. I appreciate the hell out of you, man. I'll see what I can do. Puck back in the Buffalo zone, launched all the way clear to Lightning territory. I did miss a penalty. Shame on me. Here we go. We'll be today sober from gambling. Hey, man, good time to celebrate. That's a good reason to have a drink. You're off work tomorrow or today, whenever. Don't have to worry about that. Not gambling. Good time to be playing some of these shit unders this year. Hey, I don't want to be the guy to say it, but I mean, hey, dude, I feel like the research might have been a little slacking. Radish leaves it back for Paul. He enters the zone to Kucherov on the high side, and it's kicked right back out to neutral. Delay offsides on the Lightning, and finally, Buffalo clears it all the way down. 20 seconds to go on the power play. Paul goes right back in. Puck comes all the way around to the low corner. Holmberg fighting for his life. Paul trying to get in there and give him some help, but Colin Calvis is the one that comes up and gets away with it. All the way up to the high point. Carried into the corner. Paul cuts it off. Tampa plays catch. Shot comes in from the blue line. Kicked away to the low boards. And we are back to full strength hockey. Hey, no, dude. Hey, that's awesome, man. That's, like I said, the whole point is us hanging out and just shooting the shit. If something like that happens, then that's a hell of a bonus. You know what I mean? So, no, I appreciate the hell out of that. Really, dude. Yeah, it's not often that I'm the it's not often you get told shit like that, you know what I mean? So it's seriously, thank you. Big trip Gergensen is going to complain, but it looked like to me he took down Doan, just straight up stick in the skates. Shot 35 seconds to go in the first. Shots are 10-8. Let's see it. Doan goes in, and that's incidental, dude. That's a bad call, in my opinion. Yeah, I didn't like that at all. Gensel on the high dot against Norris. And brought it funny. Oh, yeah. Dude, it gets interesting. It was always a joke. Like, getting the playoffs, and you're saying, like, all right, Gergensen to Gensel gets it back to Kucherov. There's Gosh-to-be here slamming in behind all. Dude, the names are wild, but Gergensen's is one of the better ones. Gensel in the high corner trying to work it around down low. Goncalves can't make a connection. Big shot from out high. Follow up off the high dot. Just does not go anywhere. Quinn could not get the puck through the bodies. Little mishandle by Norris, but a wild tip by Zucker. Goes on target to Vasilevsky. Norris skating into the low corner, trying to load back up high. Gets put hard into the boards, taking a couple of cross checks. No worries. Tage Thompson shot goes wide, and that is the end of the period. 1:25 to go in the Buffalo power play. Shots are 10-8. Sabres. Your dad's favorite player on the Knights? Him and I are very much alike. I'd say Stoney. Like, I mean, we've always kind of like, we have the same kind of taste in hockey. And so we've always been big fans of, him and I have always agreed on stuff like we love Tuck, Riley Smith, Carlson, love Stoney, fans of Eichel, though he pisses us off. Like Dorfeyev, like Hurdle. You know, you think of guys that used to be here. He was with me on liking Carrier and Waugh, and so A lot of the guys I like, but favorite would probably be the same as mine, which is Mark Stone. All right, so while we are at intermission, let's see what's happening with Seattle and Winnipeg. I believe they're in Winnipeg. All right, 6 minutes into the first, puck in the Winnipeg zone. No score. Jets leading shots 3-0. And here they go the other way with speed, stopping up on the low boards, tossing it behind the net. I follow Knox. Is that Fiala or I follow? I can't remember. That's I follow. Okay. I can't remember most of the people on either team. It is Grubauer in net. Okay, we'll see how this goes. I miss Grubauer in Colorado. He was easy. All right, let's take a look at the summary while they are on commercial break. 1:25 to go on the power play. First goal was Alex Tuchs coming right out of the penalty box with an assist from Byram and McLeod. And then on the power play, Kucherov tied it up 1-1 with an assist from Gensel and Radish. And then Josh Norris with an assist from Doan and Benson made it 2-1 Buffalo. Shots on goal 10-8 in favor of the Sabres. Face off. See, 22 face-offs, 12 in favor of the Lightning. Lightning are 1 for 3 on the power play. Currently, Buffalo is 0 for 2. Okay, Buffalo is on their third penalty. The hits are 9-6 Buffalo. I am very surprised Tampa only has 6 hits. Block shot 6-2. Lightning giveaway 7-1. The Lightning have 7 giveaways. They're only down 2-1. And each side has 1 takeaway. Ooh. And then later tonight are the Blackhawks and the Sharks and the Preds and the Kings. So we'll see what happens there. Just waiting to get back from commercial here. Give me just a moment. Damn, dude. O'Connor and Scheifele are responsible for, I mean, like 1 goal shy of a third of all goals for Winnipeg. Puck comes into the zone. Big shot by Seattle and a good save. Is that Comrie in? Comrie is what, number 7? I'm about to sneeze so hard it's going to fucking hurt. No, it is Hellebuck in that. Okay. I must have... Oh, Comrie's number 1. I saw the 7. I didn't see the 37. That makes sense. Anyway, let me sneeze real quick. $13:27 to go in the first from the blue line. Puck hits a body and goes wide. Battle for it below the net. Seattle's going to get to the high point. Another shot goes wide into the low corner. Seattle still controlling up to the low point. Skated into the middle. Shot on target. Hellebuck covers it up. All right, so after a little bit of a rough start, Seattle is starting to get it together. That looks fucking gross. Oh, I've got to try it because it's a big flat piece of It's a big flat chicken nugget. Sorry, I forgot you can't see what I see. It was the chicken Big Mac. It is an oversized chicken nugget, same batter. Two of them in a Big Mac instead of burger patties. It looks absolutely fucking disgusting, and I'll be damned if I don't want one. Ooh, big shove as Winnipeg takes control back the other way, but Iafallo cannot control it. Ooh, up but not out, and eventually all the way down goes the Kraken. So we have an icing face off coming back in front of Grubauer. Grubauer, it is Grubauer. On the high dot, Winnipeg wins it. Ooh, good job just tying up a stick by Connor. However, it's tossed immediately out of play. We go right back to the face-off dot. 12:35 to go in the first. Shots at 3-2, Winnipeg. Now, again, the game we are watching, Buffalo and Tampa. For a minute there, like up until 4 minutes to go in the period or something like that, Lightning had 4 shots. All 4 of them came on a power play. So they barely caught up to the power play shots they had when they're 5-on-5 after 20 minutes. I swear to God, that's better than crack. Dude, something I haven't had for a long time. I wanted the grape, but I couldn't find it. So I got a strawberry kiwi Arizona. And I haven't had, if you haven't had one, Arizona, they do their teas. I'm not a big tea guy. I will say that an Arizona Arnold Palmer with Sailor Jerry rum, make sure you have supervisors when you drink that. Like, have a chaperone. Because it tastes fucking phenomenal. It goes down like water. You feel hydrated, and it fucks you up, dude. But, yeah, I don't drink teas, but man, their fruit drinks or their juices, whatever it is, so fucking good. Shifley chops up in the high corner of his own zone, and he's able to make it out. Pass to Connor does not connect. Seattle will go back the other way. Shifley just took a baseball swing at dude. That was aggressive. I'm surprised nothing came out of that. Grubauer has to reset the puck as it goes all the way back to Seattle territory. Through neutral, go the Kraken tipped on net to Hellebuck. Just an awkward angle. I'm not sure if it actually did make it through Lambert too, but a big shot from out in the middle of the ice definitely did. Hellebuck makes the save. Going for the quick touch up as the puck goes back, but behind Helly. Pionk can't make the play. Seattle is getting their asses kicked, or are getting their asses kicked, but they're recovering the puck. Another shot goes off the glove of Hellebuck, and that ends up out of play. Just under 11 minutes to go in the first in Winnipeg. And, dude, Seattle are just playing like fucking dogs, dude. Schwartz getting into the way to disrupt shit. Puck right back in. Wild. Puck in the high. Sorry, my brain went completely off right there. Seattle right up front, backhand shot and score. chaos mode in front of the Winnipeg net, or sorry, in front of the Winnipeg crease. Eberle is able to dig it out and get up to the top of the crease and just bury a backhand. See his back. Okay, here it is. His backhand gets stuffed. The rebound comes straight out. Nobody makes a play on it but him. Everybody's just too busy leaning into the center of the ice, and Lowry was too late collapsing down. And then Perfetti, for some, I don't know what Perfetti was doing. He went to make a play on the ball. I guess he was expecting a quick pass and shot. Just totally misread the dude's intent. Back the other way, Lowry trying to catch it across the ice. No connection. Kraken dump it down on Hellebuck, and they are first in. Back out front, another backhand, this time stopped by Hellebuck. Into the high corner, fed out to the top of the high circle. That shot hits Helly, and he will freeze it. All right, we got 4 minutes, guys. Give me 1 sec. Let me go throw the clothes in the dryer. All right, guys. Oop, that's not. That's the one I want to be on. All right, so still 1-0. 9 minutes to go in the first in Winnipeg. Kraken leading the Jets. Meanwhile, we are moments away from returning to for a puck drop in Buffalo. Ah, shit. Give me a second here. I just realized I forgot to do something. I'm coming. I'm coming. One of these days where I thought I ate pretty decent and I still feel like garbage. All right. So, yeah, shots are 11-8. Lightning 1 for 3 on the power play. Sabres so far 0 for 2. Should be coming back to their third power play any second here. Mm. No, it's not just you, Wink. I muted my mic to I muted my mic to blow my nose and forgot to unmute it. Hang on. I ain't putting that one up. I want to see that again because that looked like it was a foot off sides. It's a great shot to beat Luukkonen by Gensel, but that looked a foot off sides. Doesn't look like they're talking about it, though. Hey, it is a good goal. We are tied up. Dude, that's a shame. Thought maybe I ate one too many cookies. As much as I would be proud of you if you did. Yeah, unfortunately, I made some good calls in that time, so that really sucked. Just kidding. It's nah, I appreciate you saying something. I've been sitting here talking to myself, and I do that way too often. Yeah, Quinn just goes straight across Gergensen's face with the stick. No doubt a high stick. I don't even know what Quinn is bitching about. Dude, I see there's enough potheads and drinkers that come in here that one of these days I'm gonna fuck around and put a delay on it. Just do like a quarter of a second delay, just enough to where when I push it, you can tell something's off. But then it can also have it reset and go back to normal. Just enough to occasionally fuck with people. I feel like that would be a good time. All right, Radish from the middle of the ice, top of the low circle. Kucherov puts it on Bjorkstrand's stick, but he whiffs on it, unable to control the puck. All the way down to Vasilevsky. My mistake. Let's go there. 5 minutes gone in the second period. Point leaves it back for Kucherov. He backhands it across the blue line. Now Radish dumps it deep from the high point. Gensel gets it on the low boards, but he has to fight for it. Puck ends up all the way down the wall. Vasilevsky will wait. Yeah. Tampa is so far 1 for 3 on the power play. This is their fourth. 5 shots, 1 goal. Ball gets in with speed, chases it into the corner, and sends it around. High point. Oh, and a total misplace by Dastu, or however you pronounce it. Alex Tuch with the shot and miss. I know he's, another chance for a Tuch. He shoots in, he gets stopped twice again. 3 opportunities all by himself against Vasilevsky. And he gets shut down on all 3 chances. And that is why Tuch is wearing a Sabres uniform. I don't mean that as an insult to the Sabres. I just mean that's why he's not wearing a Golden Knights. Because the motherfucker cannot score. If you get him all alone, you give him 100 chances, he'll score 4 goals. That was wild. Shots are 17-11 in favor of Buffalo. 14-10 to go in the second. 15 seconds on the man advantage. Best opportunities coming from Alex Tuch, which means they were phenomenal chances that had, or phenomenal opportunities that had no chance of going in. Back the other way, Tampa walks in, and we are back to full strength hockey. Chaos drill in front of the Buffalo crease, cleared back to the blue line. Point gets leaned on down low. Samuelson able to skate it into the high corner. And Buffalo just barely gets cleared before getting sent right back in. Shen chasing down the puck. He goes off the low wall, and eventually the Sabres have absolute no control. Big hit up high, right on the Tampa bench. Backhand shot stopped by Luukkonen. And 2-on-1 the other way. Stopped by Vasilevsky. Tage Thompson looking for the pass. But Alex Tuck, for the fourth time, gets shut down by Vasilevsky in about 9 seconds. And now Tampa up and out. Drag around Luukkonen. Just cannot control it. I couldn't see a number on there, but Tampa just, neither side really taking advantage of the opportunities that they are given. Puck into the Buffalo side. It will be an icing on Tampa. A lot of action happening on the bench. Again, I would expect this game to start getting a lot crazier soon because guys are starting to, fuck around with each other as they go to the bench. Okay, it was Perry. Great poke check by Luukkonen. Perry had a great opportunity to try and sneak behind him, but Luukkonen got aggressive and had great poke check. 12 and a half left in the second. Shots are 19-13. Buffalo face off to the right of Vasilevsky. McLeod wins it. Buffalo drives down into the corner. Zucker trying to cut back in front of the crease. A good defensive stick by Tampa. But a shot from the high point gets tipped up front, and that's a score. Oh, sorry, I have a thing for that, don't I? Zucker on the high side of the crease, just reaching in for the tip. And he may have got just the tip, but he got all of the tip. I almost did it again. Like I said, I silenced it so I'm not making funny noises on the mic, and then I almost forget to take it off. Puck coming in aggressively by Buffalo. Hits a stick and goes straight up into the sky. All right. Puck. Now that I know I can do that, that's good news. Puck all the way back behind Luukkonen. And Byram, see, losing it, just hanging out by himself. That's a good sign. Puck all the way down. It's going to be an icing on Buffalo. But I don't know if it's an icing or if it's just a tip that went out of play. Forgive me while I take care of something real quick, or at least I'm hoping I can take care of it. I actually don't know. Ba, 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 ba. Ba, 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 ba. Do this while we're on commercial. So Colorado has, dude. The game against Vancouver was wild. I gotta see. Again, I do apologize, y'all. I'm trying to damn it. Let me see if I can do it through here. Nope. All right, Tampa enters the Buffalo zone on the high side. Pass across to Radish. No connection. There again, I do apologize. Something that's just it pop. Hang on. Oh no shit. That's big. Sorry, I just got an email that is like very, very important. I'm sorry, we're totally avoiding hockey for just a minute, guys. I am trying very hard to take care of something. Looks like we may be getting a penalty. Okay, let's get back to temper. Oh, damn it. I thought I was done. Hang on. Uh-oh, what just happened now? We're getting another penalty. Chernak going to the box, I believe. Let's see. Chernak just cross-checked the shit out of Dahlin. If nothing else, it's an interference. So that's absolutely a penalty as far as I'm concerned. Log in. Okay. Jesus, if you're still here, I'm not saying it will work, but I'm really hope. Well, no, I got to change it actually. Hang on a second. Let me do it this way. Almost done, guys. Sorry. Boom, boom. That should do it. If you're around for Jesus, I don't know, but best I can do has been done. If you know what I mean, sir. We're at a commercial break. Give me 2 seconds, guys. 2 seconds. Ugh. All right. Sorry about that. Trying to do things and update things and change things. It's just a matter of bad timing. But here we go. Norris with speed up the middle, leaves it off on the high wall for Zucker, but the Lightning will send it all the way back down. 30 seconds gone on the Buffalo power play. Real quick, 12 votes. Sabres taking the Atlantic, 67%. Nobody has faith in the Canadians. I love it. Gensel with speed trying to go up against, I'm not sure who that is. I keep getting Zucker and Quinn mixed up, but Jack Quinn is quick, dude. Right back in the other way. A good move, but Stanley is better. It's not Stanley. Stanley 64. That was Dahlin. God, I'm having a real hard time with Buffalo, guys. I am butchering it bad, and I apologize. We'll be a lot better by the time we get to playoffs, I promise. Quinn up to the low point to McLeod. Back down to Quinn. Low dot shot. Stopped by Vasilevsky. Fought off to the low corner. Sucker able to take it underneath, working up to the blue line. But Tampa's able to get good wood on the puck and send it the other way. 20 seconds to go on the power play. And just about 8 minutes to go in the second. McLeod with speed makes a great pass out high, trying to feed it to the middle. And Bjorkstrand just took somebody down, put him right into his own goaltender. I'm not exactly sure what that was about. But now Buffalo will recollect once again. Tuck makes his way through the zone with speed as they get shut out for the 4th time on the power play. Hard pressure by Lilleberg completely wipes out McLeod, but Power's able to keep it in on the low point. Fighting for it. And coming away with it is Buffalo. Byram across the blue line pass. Set to the high point, but now Tampa has numbers coming back the other way, but a misplayed pass. Just a bad pass, getting a little too aggressive. Big cross check by Radish. Draws Mallenstein, but again, no penalty. A step ahead the other way was Point, but Byram with good defense to recover gets the pack back into neutral. Mallenstein across to Dune. Into the low corner. Dastu goes absolutely apeshit on him, but Buffalo keeps it in. Stanley at the blue line goes straight into the corner. And now Greenway with Dune trying to make a play. Gets up to the front of Vasilevsky before Vaz covers and freezes it. 6:40 to go in the second. Shots are 23-13 Buffalo. Sabres winning 3-2. All right, let me see real quick. Sweet. All righty, puck by Tampa, brought into. Sorry, let's start over. Stanley makes a good pass up the high boards. Buffalo just walks across, but Tage Thompson loses it. There's bad ice in Buffalo. Multiple people falling down completely, like completely all by themselves, just no one around them. And the other way, and right back out comes Tampa. Excuse me. We got a hand pass on Buffalo face off, I believe, coming to the center dot. All right, let me take a look at something real quick. Unfortunately, I am doing all this now, but it's better to be doing it now versus while we're actually in playoff time. I don't think that's the right one. Wait for it. Don't know if that's correct. Sorry, we're on commercial break. As always, give you a second. Unfortunately, I am still trying to deal with figuring shit out. All right, we'll come back and try and figure this out later, I guess, because this just doesn't seem. I don't think that's right. Sorry, guys. Let's get back to the game. What's your thought on resting players? If Colorado, do you limit shifts on key players? You have to be careful with them again, especially in games where injuries are possible. But you also have to keep them sharp. You can't let them get rusty right towards the end. So, not a big fan of resting players this close. Resting Draisaitl is dummy shit, in my opinion, but it's Edmonton. You got to give them a break. Make sure they're feeling good. Like if they tell you that, you know, they're a little stiff, they're a little sore, then giving them a day off against Vancouver, Calgary, San Jose, anything like that makes sense. But at the same time, it depends on where you are in the standings. If you're Tampa, Buffalo, Montreal, you can't afford to rest players. If you're Edmonton, I mean, Edmonton seems to be comfortable resting Draisaitl, but you really can't rest players if you're Vegas, Edmonton, or like Anaheim. You know, Dallas and Colorado resting players wouldn't be the greatest idea. Like if you don't have your position locked in, or if you like, then it makes no sense. If you're battling for second and third place, then resting players could be a good idea because it doesn't matter. You know, home ice advantage is the only difference between second and third. So you want the home ice advantage. But if it's the difference between having your guys at 98% versus 90, then you kind of got to weigh that in. So, I mean, there's a lot to it for sure. So I don't know. I really don't. Without specific context, I can't really say if it's a good idea or a bad idea because it could absolutely be both, either one or both. Oh, someone just went crashing down between the ice. Dahlin shot comes in on Lukin and he fights it to the high corner, and Tug is able to, or Tage Thompson's able to get it out, and puck comes all the way back down to Vasilevsky. Quick turnaround for Tampa. Into the zone, backhand feed from Kucherov, trying to go back to Goncalves, doesn't connect. Tampa keeps it alive. Shot comes in off the body of Dahlin. Across the blue line to the low point. Cross check coming to Alex Tuck against Kucherov. That shot came in from the low point by Radish. And by the time the camera panned, you could see Kucherov laying on his belly.
Shame. Shame. Shame.
And now we get the 1 bazillionth. Oh no, it's a trip on Tuck. That's oof. I can see why Tuck may be a little bit pissy. I'm not gonna lie. All right, face off won by the Lightning. Fed to the low baseline, back to the point. Radish hits Kucherov just outside the low circle. Baseline, back to Kucherov. Top dot, no shot. Kucherov back to the low baseline. Gensel loses it for a moment. Kucherov resets it to the middle. Shot by Radish. Misses wide. Fight for it down below. Kucherov eventually gets it in the corner. Good stick lift by Mallenstein as he's able to send the puck all the way down. 40 seconds gone on the man advantage. Radish able to get it to Bjorkstrand in the Buffalo zone. Just a double attack. Everybody's going down, dude. So many bodies hitting the ice. Buffalo clears all the way back to Vasilevsky. Radish skates in and leaves it off the low wall. Bjorkstrand now back to the point. Kucherov feeds it down the low boards. Back to Kucherov. From the low dot, shot hits a skate. Up to the high wall. Benson gets there first and clears it back. Gensel now trying to feed it across the middle of the ice. Hits Benson's skate. And Tampa is forced backward. Trying to push up again. Kucherov's pass goes well behind. Gensel, a quick shot by Benson, kicked away by Vasilevsky. Tage Thompson puts it on Vaz. It goes out of the zone, goes right back on Vasilevsky. This is just wild. In and around to the high corner of the Buffalo zone. Minute 35 in the period, 6 seconds remaining on the man advantage. Vasilevsky sets the puck, and that will do it for the Tampa power play. Right back in. Luukkonen touches it along, and we have, I believe, an offsides. All right, let's see if we can get this figured out before we, as we end this one and go over to the other game. Method. Puck in the low corner. Buffalo's going to work their way out of the zone with 60 seconds left on the clock. Fed up ahead. Tampa's trying to break right back the other way. Byram to Dahlin. Dahlin will clear it through to neutral. going for a little too subtle of a pass. Buffalo turns it over at the Lightning blue line, and then McDonough has a problem getting it up and out of the zone. Quick pass the other way, gets tipped and sent out of play. All right. No idea what to do on this. Such a bummer. Okay. 15 seconds left on the clock. Tampa gets out of their zone into neutral. Kucherov fighting for space. Puck comes on Luukkonen. Rebound has a chance, but Buffalo able to fight it off. That is the end of the second period in Buffalo. Give me just a moment and we will dive over to the Kraken game. I've got to see if I can get this figured out because for some reason, Streamlabs is being a real piece of shit. Let me see. One sec, y'all. Copy. Paste, go. Well, all right. Whatever, guys. Sorry. I guess I did the best I can. Hopefully that's working. I got to check in with Jesus at some point and see if that actually did get that to work. So if anybody out there can remind me, I'd appreciate that. All right, let's get over to Winnipeg. So far, dude, the first period is exactly what I expected out of Buffalo and Tampa. Everything this second period has been an absolute flop. I was expecting people to be fighting and angry and pissed off about certain hits that happen in certain places, and nope, just none of that shit. So at the moment, we are waiting for Seattle and Winnipeg. They are on a commercial break. Tomorrow, not a lot going on tomorrow that I had. Wait, no, we do play Vancouver tomorrow. Okay, I thought we played Wednesday, not Tuesday, for some stupid reason. But 4 p.m., the Lightning and the Senators, that should be a fun one to watch. It shouldn't be great hockey, but it should be a fun one to watch. Same with the Bruins and the Hurricanes. Flames and the Stars, you never know. Oilers and the Mammoths, we will have to keep an eye on. Now, it is Costco Day. Whether or not I actually do decide to go to Costco, we will see. But tomorrow is Costco night, so we may not be here for our second game against Vancouver. I know. How are you going to miss the most exciting hockey game in the history of the National Hockey League when Vancouver and the Golden Knights play? Please forgive me. It's not a positive. I will try to make it, but we will see. So little under a third and as another vote comes in, Sabres taking the lead over the Lightning. Zero faith in the Canadians. Now, again, the Lightning are at 102 points. The Sabres and the Canadians are tied at 100. So I am actually rather surprised. Now, not that surprised because obviously America's winning the cup again. It's our sport now. Sorry. Not sorry. But yeah, no faith in Montreal. Face off won by Winnipeg in their own zone. Riley takes it out, makes the pass to Pionk before he dumps it in. From the high corner, working it behind the net. Tace trying to make some moves, and he's got some good ones. Top of the low circle shot goes 15 feet wide. From the high corner, pass across the middle of the ice. If only there was somebody there. It would have been beautiful. Right back in goes Winnipeg. Quick shot and a glove save. Grubauer. Who'd have thought he could do that? Not any Colorado Avalanche fans, I will tell you that much. Yeah, shot comes in on Grubauer. Nice, easy, quick glove save. Jesus, if you're here. Knocked 3 times. I swear, I feel like his spirit is still with us. Face off on the dot to the high side of Grubauer. And Seattle comes away with it. Stevenson making the pass across the ice. And on the high boards, they'll dump it all the way around. Stevenson is so fast, man. I miss Chandler Stevenson. And the other way goes Winnipeg. Quick transitions from both sides. Nobody really putting up a fight through neutral. Just expect the dump and chase. And it's almost surprising when guys are walking across the blue line. That should be a trip. Montour gets called for a tripping 9 times out of 100. And to be fair, I think Connor nose picked a little more than Montour helped him, but the amount of time Vegas has been called for some shit like that. Pucked out on the low boards into the high corner and right back down to the low boards. Winnipeg just having a little back and forth chase with themselves at this point, all the way around to the high wall, pinching down, and a little shove from Seattle. Gets a little shove back from Winnipeg. These guys are starting to get a little physical. We could end up with an exciting third period if this game stays close. Big shot from the blue line goes well wide of the net. Fed quickly out front. Does not connect back to the backboards. High stick. That's his own teammate hit. Dude, what's the penalty? His own teammate hit him. I could have sworn Niederreiter just got smacked hard with a stick. I could have sworn it was his own teammate that caught him. We'll double check it real quick, but let's see. It was Lambert's stick that hit him in the face. Good Lord. Lambert just got away with one, dude. He hit his own teammate in the face, and now Winnipeg's on a power play. That's incredible. Shot from the blue line, stopped by Grubauer. Forced all the way into neutral. Riley chases it back. Wait. Thought so. I'm thinking Toronto. I'm thinking Toronto with their numbers. Man, I have seen way too many games lately. From the low point, Gallardi skating it down, makes the pass to the low baseline, recovered out front, and Velarde buries it past Grubauer off the loose rebound. Halfway through the second, Winnipeg takes the lead 2-1. All right, let me. Really hope that starts working. We shall see sooner or later, I guess. All right, we'll be back in a couple minutes for the third period. I need to go take care of clothes, and it's hot as shit in here. So I'll see you guys very shortly. we only got a minute or two before we're back for the third period, so we'll jump in a second early here. I do apologize for being absolutely useless during the second period, trying to get some stuff set up, and I'm trying to figure out connected that, so that should be good. I really don't know if it's gonna work or not. I am truly hoping for the best, but hopefully everything that I just sat and fucking worked through ended up being okay and doing. Hopefully I fixed what I needed to fix. So come in. Oh, come in. Do that. We're still waiting for the game to come back, so just give us a few minutes here while I get reset up. Now, I kind of decided to do this game last night, and I can't believe how poorly I am prepared for this game, so I do apologize. All right. Feed is not working. There we go. We are back. Face off won by the Lightning, sent in by Stu. I believe that I finally learned that that's how you pronounce his name. Kept at neutral before finally being dumped in by Buffalo all the way around the low boards. Hagel, dude just skated right by Hagel like he wasn't even there. Or no, it's Gord. Sorry, Gord. McLeod now circling at the high wall all the way to Power on the blue line. Quick shot from the middle of the point. Goes off the back glass, cycling around to the middle again. Another big shot goes off the back glass. Power pinched all the way down, trying to make a move against Gord. Able to get it behind the net, but Tampa will collect and clear. Being they do not clear. That was very lazy. Very, very lazy clearing attempt. Puck right back to the net on a quick turn and shoot off the low board. Gord finally collects. Dow Stu again getting chased down. He's causing problems for Tampa. Kucherov now with speed gets a shot off. Hits the pad of Luukkonen. Buffalo clinched the spot. Dude, if I ever cry over anything having to do with hockey, fucking find out where I live and smother me, dude. That's one way to answer. Equally as an equal reaction is, who the fuck cares about Buffalo, bruh? Big shot from Radish gets stopped out high. Down the low boards and Buffalo heads out. Quick shot stopped by the blocker of Vasilevsky into the high corner of the Tampa zone. Benson up the wall, trying to go towards the net. Hits a stick out high, collected by Power at the blue line. Pass all the way across the point and down below the net. Tampa finally gets it, and Goncalves is able to clear. Puck all the way back to Goncalves. Mosier walks in on the low wall. Sets it around at the high corner. Byram misplays it, and Tampa controls deep. Working out to the middle. Good attack by Chernak to move the puck forward. McDonough now sending it behind the net. Pass all the way to the high point. And Chernak's shot goes straight into the sky and into the nets. You're watching the Jets on Twitch Prime? Oh, nice. I didn't even know you could do that shit. They, the penalty, the penalty that the trip that Montour got called for. And other than that, that's been an okay game. We're watching not a lot of neutral zone confrontations happening in that one, man. Just transition, dump, chase, lose it, dump, chase, lose it, take a couple shots, lose it, dump, chase, lose it. It's a lot of back and forth. Good transitions just to lose it on both sides of the ice. Not quite a tennis match, but a lot of this. It's down the low boards. Gensel trying to feed it to the middle. It goes to the top of the high circle. Shot goes well wide. Collected by Paul. His shot hits a body out front. As Shen knocks it down. Now Stu goes across the ice and back to him. Another shot. Bodies flying around everywhere as Gensel's trying to figure out where he's at. Meanwhile, sitting on his knees about dick high to Dune. 16:44 to go in the third. Shots are 24-17 Buffalo. Let's see what happened. Little shove. Stanley kind of beating the shit out of Gensel. Gensel turns around to take a whack at Stanley. And I think that's where Shen comes in and just buries his ass. That's where Gensel's looking around like, what the fuck just happened? You miss Stanley, dude. I don't know much about him, but the more I see of him, the more I'm impressed. He's a big boy. I didn't realize how big he was. Let me see. I gotta get a size on him. But this game he has stood out to me, and I've actually been slightly impressed. Yeah, 6'7", 231. He is a monster of a human. Puck up the high boards across neutral, missed by Perry and sent the other way. Jack Quinn's not quick enough to get up to the wall as Tampa makes their entry. To the high point, right back down on to Luukkonen, who stops it for Shen. He'll go back behind himself to Mr. Stanley. Right back the other way, but cut off at neutral. So let's try again. Mosher now collects in the low corner. All the way down for a Tampa Lightning fucking icing. Let's go back to the face-off dot. It's not like we haven't had 348 face-off in this game. We have not. In fact, we've had 46, but still, that feels like a lot. It's not the 64 from last game, but it feels like too many. On the dot to the right of Vasilevsky, Getzel wins it. Trying to move it up the high board and out of the zone, but up into the Tampa bench it goes. Keep checking to make sure my battery for the bike's plugged in, because the other night I was so excited. I spent all day working on the working on the bike, doing this and that. And I forgot to plug the battery in. It's fucking disappointing. Shot from out high, gloved by Vasilevsky. And that looks like Perry just chasing. Nope, it's Mosher. Chasing Benson behind the net, just cross-checking the living shit out of him. Oh, another vote snuck in since the last time I saw, with 15 votes, 10 in favor of the Sabres, 5 in favor of the Lightning, and not a single soul has faith in Canada taking the cup home. Not taking the cup home, but winning the division, because that actually has nothing to do with winning the cup, whether they take first place. But we're going to group it all in as one, because Canada, you ain't taking our fucking cup home. We appreciate, you did a good job making it. I appreciate the craftsmanship. It's going here. Oh, I played on my ass, not on the ice. I didn't fall in love with hockey until I was basically done playing sports, to be honest with you. So I wholeheartedly, and yes, I talk all the shit I want, having never played, like, fucked around on the ice. You know, I've dicked around with buddies that play hockey. I've shot pucks. I've done certain things, but I've never actually played organized hockey. Which is, it cracks me up that anybody takes me seriously, because I'm coming straight from a fan perspective. But yeah, I was a baseball player until I hit high school, and then I lost my shit and couldn't take it anymore, because Vegas sports is a very political endeavor. And I finally snapped and couldn't take that shit anymore. Radish coming in across the red line, dumping it down, and Byram's able to work it to the high corner. What about you, Sugar Hill? Power back behind Luukkonen, pass made all the way up ahead, and just a fucking dude getting abused by Stu. Here comes Tampa back the other way. Perry with a shot from the high dot. Misses everybody. I was left wing, didn't know how to do face-offs. Yeah. I can understand that more than anything else in this fucking game, dude. It's so funny. You'll see posts on Twitter where people are like, why did he get kicked out of the face-off? And you'll see a whole bunch of people being arrogant assholes and being like, bro, well, because of this, they can get kicked out for this and this and this and this. And it's like, don't you do, no. Don't you fucking do that. You have no clue. Shut up. But just with that, I could also see having a hard time getting the rhythm down for a face-off, because I mean, look at Eichel. He wins about 7 face-offs a year, and he happens to do them during 4 Nations in the Olympics. Ooh, big hit just inside the Buffalo zone. Looked to be incidental, but damn. Yeah, man, I wish I found hockey when I was younger, because I love this game so much. And I was a pitcher when I played baseball. I played first and third, and I was a pitcher. I also played catcher for a while, but as I started taking pitching more seriously, I stopped catching. And it was like, I have no qualms about hitting people, dude. I'd get the Dahmer stare, and just, your nose was the bullseye on a target. Fuck you. And you say, Timmy, why would you hit people? They were standing there, dude. It's literally Happy Gilmore. You hit that guy. He shouldn't have been standing there. Kayla, what do you think about the A's coming to Vegas? I feel the same way that I do about the Raiders. The A's are, you can call them the Las Vegas A's all you want. Fuck you, they're the Oakland A's. You can call them the Las Vegas Raiders all you want. Fuck you, they're the Oakland Raiders. I just don't care. I truly don't like any other sports other than hockey because they've become so pathetic to watch. So I just don't have the tolerance. So flat out, like you have to have that framing. But they are going to make a fuck ton of money. Baseball and basketball are two of the biggest sports in the entire world. So they're going to make money. That arena is going to be filled. But much like what happened with the Golden Knights, the A's aren't going to have a massive home crowd. You're going to have the guys, you're going to have locals wearing A's when they go, but it's a tourist attraction. The Oakland A's, welcome to the new Cirque du Soleil, now available for, 81 shows a year, unless you make it to the postseason and then you get some extra shows, It's Vegas Golden Knights are supported the way they are in Vegas. Okay, all right, let me put it this way. The A's will be supported in Vegas for the same reason the Raiders are supported in Vegas. It's close enough for Californians to come watch the game, and people just kind of accept it. Yay, we finally have a Las Vegas team, woohoo. So they'll just accept it. But the Golden Knights are much more rooted locally because it was an expansion team. Vegas born. We are the Golden Knights. You didn't move them into the city. And as far as I'm concerned, fuck them, dude. Just another waste of money on the strip. So sorry for the overly extended rant, Kaylor, but that's how I feel about it. More than willing to hear what your opinion is. Only played street hockey with family and friends. Wait, see, played a bunch of street hockey. I did do that when I was younger, for sure. I've been with nets and skates on the ice with pucks and sticks. Never really took it overly seriously. Just having fun with friends, family, things like that. Tried to get into a men's league a while back, but it was just not the best time to dump a couple $100 into equipment because I'd have to start fresh. So that's skates, pads, helmets, multiple sticks, gloves, everything. I got to start completely fresh. Our team running their tax breaks. Kind of for tax breaks, I'm sure there's a little bit that has to do with what Vegas did with hockey. Because if hockey can succeed in Vegas, then anything can succeed in Vegas. So I'd assume that's part of it. I would assume tax breaks are part of it because fuck California. But you move to Vegas, and not only do they get the tax breaks, but the vast majority of their fan base is 4 hours away, 5 hours away. 45 minutes if you hop on a plane. So you can still get people coming to the games. Guys will save for 8 months so they can make every home game, even though they live in Oakland. So you got stuff like that. You got a lot of money in Vegas. Like Vegas, if you'll notice, Vegas has priced out the riffraff, which it's also priced out the locals, the strip. But that's the goal of the strip, is to get all of the less, you don't want people coming and taking advantage of $30 rooms on game night. And so the strip has catered more to the high rollers and the guys who will pay $500 a night for a room. And that's very attractive if you own a sports team. It's a good move, and I hopefully buys them. Hey, I can absolutely get that. I have no connection to baseball. I played baseball for like 13 years of my life, and it got to the point where I just hated the sport. Loved the game, but hated the bullshit that came attached with it. So I know Ohtani, I know Skeens. Other than that, I couldn't name you another baseball player. You know what I mean? So with my opinion, it comes from very biased, uninformed source. So always take that with a grain of salt. But How is that not holding the stick? Radish couldn't go anywhere. 9:40 to go in the third. Shots are 26-19 in favor of Buffalo. Sabres up 3-2. But no, for the A's, it's a good move. For the Raiders, it was a brilliant move. So that had to give the A's even more confidence. But for the A's, it is a very good move. The way that I see it, like I said, it's baseball. There are kids in remote African rainforests who play baseball, who know who Derek Jeter is. You go to Bali, there are guys in front of there's 9-year-olds in front of Buddha statues playing baseball. So of course it's going to make money. Everybody with money wants to go to Vegas. They want to gamble and win and see a show and do all that shit. So you plan it when they're on a home stretch. You come out, you stay for 4 days. You get to watch a doubleheader, maybe 2 doubleheaders, but at least 3 games across 3 or 4 days. Like everything about, and you get to enjoy Vegas when you do it. It's just everything about it makes sense for the organization to come out here. Just like it made sense for the Raiders to come out here. My opinion comes strictly from I could give a shit less about baseball, and since like knowing how things are going with the Golden Knights, it's literally just going to become the new Cirque du Soleil. Which is fine. I mean, when you're trying to make money for an organization so that you can actually afford to pay people to possibly win, it's a fun, like you got to make the decision as an owner. So no fault in their decision making at all, but that's basically where I stand with the A's. And I feel the exact same way, like I said, about the Raiders. God, that water is so cold, and I want to inject it into my veins like heroin. But Jesus, you around, buddy? Hey, what's going on with the other one? Let me bring up the game real quick. All right, so the Jets are up 3-1. God, this lisp. Jets are up 3-1 on the Kraken. Again, you had Eberle scored the first goal for Seattle, and then you have 3 straight power play goals for Winnipeg. You would think Seattle would figure out how to not go in the fucking box, but they just like to be there. Let's see what the penalties are. You have Benson and Gensel each catching a 2-minute minor for getting into it after the whistle on that last group, on that last cycle series. Are we playing 4-on-4? It looks like it. A lot of space on the ice, and it is as we get counting down to 9 minutes left in the game. Shots are 26-19 Buffalo. Tage Thompson into the zone. Pass to the high wall. Shot comes on, fought away by Vasilevsky. Puck coming back out and into neutral. Byram able to step in front of Paul to buy some space. Power leaves it back for Tage. Thompson making good moves. Puck comes back to Power. A big shot beat Vasilevsky, but missed the net well wide. That Cirelli back in his own territory, leaves it off for a point with speed. Good pass to Kucherov, back to point on the high board, into the corner, cutting back to the point. Big shot by Radish, stopped by Luukkonen. 50 seconds remain on the 4-on-4. Shots 28-20 in favor of Buffalo. 8 minutes to go in the period, and the Sabres start making their way through neutral to the low point inside the Tampa zone. Sent around to Vasilevsky. He'll go right back out to Radish. all the way across the ice with a lot of space. Tampa will play catch in their own zone. 25 seconds on the 4-on-4. Radish now gaining speed, makes the pass up ahead, tipped by Gord, chased down by Byram behind his own goaltender. Pass comes up the low wall. It's tipped. And no icing. Turnak sets it back behind himself, and with 5 seconds on the man advantage, a good move met with a hard hit. And I thought it was a good move, but Gensel got, or that's not Gensel. Who is that? Dude got absolutely crunched. Is that, oh, that's Holmberg. We're back to full strength hockey. We got a whistle as Holmberg is very slow to get up. It was not a dirty hit anyway, at least from what I saw. Holmberg tried, yeah. Nope. He ends up going awkward, very awkwardly into the boards. Nothing wrong with what Krebs did. Like I said, it looked like a good move from Holmberg. He faked cutting back inside the ice, then went to go wide. The only problem is the man on the other side of him was Krebs. Peyton Krebs had no interest in falling for a fake, so he just skated right through the juke move by Holmberg. Unfortunately, Holmberg just got into a weird position and went right to the board shoulder first. So we will see if he ends up coming back with 7 1/4 to go in the game. The way that he struggled to get up, I would assume he's down the tunnel for the rest of this one. Face off won by Buffalo, immediately sent in from the high point across the blue line. Shen gets it behind the net. Dude down there just fighting for his life. Big shove to the back of I already forgot his name. Malenstein. But Tampa's able to get the puck, and now they work up through neutral. Perry into the zone, stops at the low point. Dumped down deep for Chafee. Buffalo temporarily recovers, but I think it's Chaffee actually. Comes away with it. A quick pass and shot. Perry misses wide. He had a great opportunity as Luukkonen was slow getting across. And then Shen steps in front of that centering pass. Stretch all the way, tipped in from the red line. Mosier trying to go around Vasilevsky's back. He's able to get it up through neutral. Tampa with it. A lot of momentum on the low boards. Point sends it around to the high corner, and high point it goes across the blue line to Mosier. Back across, top dot, shot. Stop by Luukkonen. Mosier gets it back around to Gensel. Kucherov feeding it to Radish. And gloved by Luukkonen off of the hard shot from the point. All right, we're back to commercial break. But Jesus, are you here? Hello? All right, so tomorrow, Vancouver and Vegas. Keep an eye out. I may be here. However, Tuesday night is Costco night, and I do not intend on going at all during the playoffs, so I've got to make sure I am loaded the fuck up. So, yeah, this week and next week, I got to make sure I got plenty of beef and chicken and all that good shit so that I don't have to worry about missing any of the playoff games, because we will be here for every single playoff game. Very much looking forward to it. I believe they start on the 18th, if I am remembering correctly. So, from starting on April 18th, we go like 2 weeks with like 4 games a day every day. Then we go a couple weeks with 2 games a day almost every day. And then it'll start thinning out, but every single one of them, man, I'm making sure I got a lot of classwork and shit. I'm going to be done with that. Getting that stuff done early in the morning so I don't have to worry about it. We just show up here and have a good time. So, what up, D? I will say, but Jesus already saying he's showing some love. So if he shows some love, that's a lot of beers for the playoffs, and we'll be sure to either get some beer or get some bourbon. Dude, they're showing two guys chugging from the beer sword that they got at the Sabres game. One dude actually chugged the beer. The other dude poured it down his shirt and then acted like he did something. This Saturday, right? The fights are this Saturday. So keep an eye out for that. Because if I'm here watching the fights with these guys, I'm going to stream it. We're going to stream the watch party. Radish across the eyes, barely kept in by Mosier, and then forced back out the opposite way. Do I not have? Give me a second here. I want to make sure I have the empty net ready. All right, dumped in around the low side, deep behind Lukanen. All the way up to the high wall, and that will chase back down to Vasilevsky. No icing. 5 minutes left in the period. In the game. Shots are 28-22. Buffalo. Tampa with speed gets it back to Lukanen, who works it up the high boards. Chasing it down into the corner is Quinn, but he's able to get it up high enough for Zucker to set in neutral. Stu sends it around. Nobody there to slow it down, and it is all the way back down to Vasilevsky. 4.5 to go. Back the other way, Goncalves across the ice to Stu, who takes a hit but gives it back as good as he gets. Lilleberg now trying to feed it down from the low point. And the push back into the high corner, played again back down to Vasilevsky, but it is an icing. Yeah, D, are you doing anything? What are you doing tomorrow? I don't know if I want to play something or watch something or do something, but after the stream, I'm either going to Costco or I'm streaming the game. I don't know which. But after I do that, I want to do something if you're around. All right, so again, nobody has any faith in the Canadians. The vast majority, 63%. Pulling for saying the Sabres are going to win the Atlantic, 37% saying Tampa, and not a soul on this earth. Now, again, at this moment, Montreal is tied with Buffalo. Both of them are only 2 points back. No faith in Montreal. Oh, they pulled Vasilevsky with 4 minutes to go. I was not expecting that. Again, 4 minutes to go in the third. Shots are 28-22, Buffalo. Kill the face off real quick. Anytime we can get to a face-off, gentlemen, I think everybody in the fucking world would appreciate it. Here we go. And he didn't drop the puck. Can we get on with the game? 4 minutes to go. Live in Iowa, so I picked the Devils because I like their play. Wild didn't exist. Hey, fair enough. Did I have a team before the Knights? I sort of. So I grew up in Florida. I was a Panthers fan back in the day. Stopped watching hockey for a while. Started watching in 2009, 2010, and I became a fan of the Bruins. And that was back with Tim Thomas, Tuukka Rask, Lucic, Bergeron, Chara, like Zdeno Chara, I'm a big fan of. Marchand had just started there. I was a big fan of those guys. And then Marchand started pissing me off and making me hate the Bruins. And right as that started to happen, the Knights got announced. So I've always had a love for Florida, even though I'm, it's way deep down back there. Not a fan of, I haven't been a fan of them the last couple of years because they're, once Vegas was eliminated, I was pulling for Florida to do the back-to-back. But before then, it was Boston. Now I can't stand. I despise Boston, but that's Brad Marchand's doing. So it was, Boston fan for about 5.5 years. Knights get announced, and it was, okay, nothing else matters. Now, granted, early 2010, Chicago was fun to watch. Detroit was fun to watch. Pittsburgh and Washington were good fun to watch. Like, I mean, there was a lot of good shit, a lot of good hockey in the late 2009s, early 2010s. So I really watched everybody, but I'd say Bruins. All right, Buffalo heading back the other way. I don't think they've pulled Vaz yet. No, they haven't. All right, let's see if they're going to do it now. McDonough makes the pass to Bjorkstrand. Expect Vasilevsky to head to the bench. And he does not. It's a good thing because that puck came right back the other way. Gord tosses it in just across the blue line. And Buffalo's going to send it right back out. Radish collects and up ahead to Gensel. Throws it at Luukkonen, who catches it, delays, and then drops it. Now Buffalo plays it back the other way. So the net is empty, but as soon as it goes empty, Buffalo scores to make it 4-2, and the Sabres have all but iced this one. All right, so this game, the first period is what I expected in this game. They were hitting, guys were going at it, the huddles after every play, like, oh man, it was awesome. Right up until the second period started, and then it became one of the most boring games we've watched in a while. Stream pause. I was like 30 minutes behind. Nice, brother, nice. That's nothing too exciting. I was talking about potentially it's been up to, dude, just taking the class, trying to get all my good grades and streaming hockey. That's been it, brother. I just got an email for an interview. I'll tell you about another time. But I don't know when that came in. It had to be fairly recent, but that's huge for me. So this came in 4 hours ago, so I have to reply. Hang on, hopefully that's the right store number. Hey, that's exactly it. Because right now I just need something. Getting through school is the most important. Getting through the classes and everything is the most important thing. At least until I may end up moving back or having to move out to Lincoln, Nebraska. So if I get everything together before I have to do that, that would be sick. Puck comes right out to the middle of the ice. 15 seconds left. Tampa's back to an empty net. Little scramble in front of the crease, and finally the puck swung all the way around and out. That will do it. Let's see if we have any fights going on. Nope, everything is good. This ended up being a much more boring game than I expected it to be. Just 100% honesty, but we were here for it, so all good. Sabres win it 4-2 over the Lightning, tying Tampa for first place in the Atlantic. At 102 points, Canadians nipping at their heels at 100 points, and now everything else from there. We will see how it goes. But hey, D, what are you up to tomorrow, brother? But Jesus, if you're in here, buddy, try the new link that I hopefully saved. That's about all I can tell you. Hopefully we get that working. But so yeah, thank you for your interest. Received the application. Interested in scheduling an interview. Reply with availability to meet in person. Man, that's awesome. That could end up being, like I said, could end up being really big. Could end up affording a lot of opportunities to do a lot more things that I'd like to do with the stream. You know what I mean? Especially as I've got a long time doing this before I get done with school. So I got to get together and send an email and start getting all that taken care of. So I'm actually going to do that now. I don't want to forget about it, and I want to schedule this interview. So I'm going to take off. D, if you're still around, brother, hit me up tomorrow. I'm not sure if I'm streaming or if I'm going to Costco, but hit me up tomorrow. We'll catch up. I haven't talked to you in a while. And it's going to be difficult with Tom screaming in my ear on Saturday. So, but for everybody else, I greatly appreciate you hanging out with me. Fun game, wink, Vajesus. Again, Vajesus, if you ever stumble across this, try again. And then D, I will hit you up later. Sugar Hill, everybody, good night. I'm going to get out of here. Thank you for hanging out with me, and I will see you guys very soon. Cheers, everybody.